5 bells. Stand by all stations.
Attention, all districts. A 5-alarm fire. 5 bells. Move in immediately.
That's it. Let's roll!
Let's go. Firefighters!
Presenting Firefighters, the true-to-life story of our unsung heroes who stand ready to ride by day or night against our most murderous enemy, the Demon of Fire. In just a moment, we'll join Chief Cody and rookie fireman Tim Collins at the fire in the chemical plant, which so far has rated 4 alarms. There are at least 3 dangerous substances stored or worked on in the buildings which make up the plant: tar, unprocessed naphthalene, and fuel oil. These are the known factors which the chief has to cope with. But it is the unknown which has provided most of the trouble so far. Now, you remember how the intense heat had caused the high-tension wires to fall in the yard just inside the main gate, and how Tim had risked his life to save a young engineer trapped there. Well, that's where we'll pick up our story right after the following announcement. Let's go, firefighters. Let's join rookie fireman Tim Collins shortly after he had rushed into the yard of the plant when the fireman had been driven out by the falling high-tension wires. He had succeeded in dragging the young engineer, Bob Stafford, to the shelter of the doorway in the building just across the way from the one in which the fire is centered. There, the 2 men were trapped. It seemed hopeless to fight their way in the semi-darkness of the yard, through the thick clouds of black smoke, across a yard strewn with live wires. But at that point, Tim had discovered that they had to make a choice.
You say there are 2 tank cars on the railroad siding in back of that burned building, Bob?
That's right, Tim. 10,000 gallons of fuel oil each.
I wish I was sure Chief Cody knew about them.
You can't see him from the other side of the building where your buddies are pouring on water now.
Yeah.
There's another gate which comes in from one of the side streets.
Well, this place has got too many surprises for me. And that reminds me. The chief said that in one stage of processing, naphthalene was darn explosive stuff.
Yeah, that's before it's been whizzed in a centrifuge to remove the oils, Tim.
Huh? Well, just where does that job take place? Where's it stored?
Right in back of you. We're sitting on the doorstep.
We're sitting on... You mean in this building?
That's right. Fire's getting kind of hot from across the way, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, so am I. Well, I'd say let's try to get through those wires, except... Well, Chief Cody saw me bring you in here before you came to. Then he disappeared. It isn't like him to go off and leave me in a tight squeeze.
Well, what could he do to help? The guy's helpless. You couldn't expect him to send men into this yard here.
No, of course not. But you don't know the chief, Bob. He'd think of something, some way to get us out.
Well, shall we wait or make a stab at it ourselves?
Well, most of the wires are already down. All we have to do to get through is go through without touching any of them.
Yeah, that's all. I could do with a pair of wings about now.
Yeah, me too. Well, it's going to be the longest short walk I ever took. But since we've got to take it, Bob, let's go!
Tim would have been amazed if just shortly before he reached this decision, he could have seen his friend Chief Cody at the radio in his car talking with Headquarters Telegraph Bureau, the nerve center of the department. Had the chief forgotten Tim?
How about it, Mac? Any word yet?
Still standing by, Chief. You want to wait?
Well, this comes first. I'll wait.
Did you get your fireboat on the 3rd alarm?
Yeah. I can see the dock from here. It's covering 3 barges loaded with tar.
Ah, that's fine. The tugboats got there in time, then.
And we'll be in a nice fix if Ember set that tar afire. Once we get them off our minds, I'll give you the word. Radio the skipper to move back into the dock. Train his monitors on the front of the plant. Empty the water out of the harbor if he has to.
For Pete's sake, haven't you got enough equipment?
Who's sitting up here in the city's oil and gasoline belt, Mac, you or me?
Yes.
We're hitting that building from 2 sides now. We can't even get at the worst side.
Those high-tension wires, sir?
Yeah. And if I don't get word
hold
pretty
it, Chief.
soon...
Here it is now.
Huh?
Listen to this. Power shut down along Commercial Avenue from Drake to Johnson Streets. I'll repeat that. Power shut down along
Never
the
mind.
bush.
There's no time for that. This is what I've been waiting for. Stand by. Swenson, get in there to Tim Collins and that young fellow.
The power's off now, sir.
Right. Move your trucks into the yard immediately. And hold that fire where it is. Give it everything you've got. Make sure your men understand that the wires are dead. There's nothing to hold them up now. Let's roll!
This was the moment just after Tim and Bob Stafford had moved cautiously out of the smoke-filled yard to grope their way fearfully among the wires that seemed to crisscross their path at every turn.
Hey! Oh, good grief. Watch where you're stepping, Bob.
Boy, that was close. I didn't even see it.
Yeah, well, one false step and you don't get another chance.
Yeah, I know. Watch yourself, Tim. You're moving away from the gate now, this direction.
Yeah. Smoke's so thick. How can you tell?
I come in and out of here every day, remember?
Yeah.
It's over there, where you can hear the sound of that truck.
Huh?
Yeah.
What's a truck doing coming in here?
I don't know, but sure enough is. I can just make it out now.
Yeah. Here come some of the men from the engine company.
Are you guys crazy? Don't come in here.
Keep away from those wires, Swenson, do you hear me?
I hear you. Keep your shirt on, Tim. The chief got word through a few minutes ago. The power's turned off along this whole section.
Huh? Who got
Why,
what?
you
when?
two guys look kind of silly standing there with your mouths hanging open.
What?
Get out of the way and let that ladder truck in.
Yeah, but this just happened, Swenson?
Yeah. You tried to cross this yard 5 minutes ago, you'd have gotten yourselves a hot one. And I don't mean maybe.
Oh, very funny. But I got a little surprise for you,
Never
too.
mind it. Gotta try and check this building from spreading to the rest of the plant.
You better do more than try, Swenson, and I'm serious.
Looks to me like the heat might set off that building you and your friend took shelter in, but
Well, then wet it down. Even before you turn your lines on the other one. Even before you put up a ladder.
Thanks for the advice. But I was fighting fires before you were dry behind the ears, kid.
All right, let's not argue, Swenson. You won't fight anymore if you don't listen to me now. You don't save that building across the way.
You admire the architecture, Tim?
I got a lot of respect for its contents. Enough naphthalene in an unfinished state to blow us all to kingdom come.
We'd better find Chief Cody, Tim. Your friend looks kind of silly standing there with his mouth hanging open, doesn't he?
A moment later, Tim and Bob report back to Chief Cody, but there's no time for explanations or even greetings. The chief is busy on the radio again.
Without power, we're going to run into trouble after it gets dark, Mac. What's available?
I'll have the searchlight truck and the mobile power unit there any minute, Chief. Anything else?
I'll let you know about further equipment after I check up. Stand by, Mac. Now, Tim. You say this young fellow, what's his name?
Bob Stafford, sir. He knows the whole layout here. He's the man you wanted to find.
Well, you see, sir, there are 2 tank cars carrying fuel oil on a siding to the rear of this burning building.
The third alarm company's reported to that section, son.
But the tracks run in from the street quite a distance, Chief. Between 2 buildings, as a matter of fact. You couldn't get a truck in there, and you wouldn't see the need of it if you were concentrating on the building.
Thanks, Bob. We'll move them out of danger at once.
Yes, but how, Chief Cody?
Railroad freight yards are 2 blocks south, aren't they?
Yes, sir, they are.
That's the answer, Tim. Cody to headquarters. Cody to... Hey, Mac, are you there?
Yes, sir. Standing by.
I don't want you standing by. I want more equipment.
Okay, Chief. What do you have?
A locomotive from the freight yards. Did you hear me, Mac?
I must have misunderstood you, Chief. I'm sorry. I thought you said a locomotive.
I did. And I want it here in a matter of minutes, right?
Yes, sir. One locomotive coming up.
Quickly, the 3 men climb into the chief's car, and with Tim at the wheel, they swing off the main avenue and up a side street. They're now facing another side of the burning building, which the firemen are attacking from the street itself. As Bob Stafford suspected, they have not even seen the importance of the tracks which cross the street and lead between 2 buildings of the huge plant. Later, the chief stands on the sidewalk.
If we don't get an engine any minute now, I'll try to get some men in there and put a deluge set over those tank cars.
That's practically a black tunnel filled with smoke between those 2 buildings, Chief. Could they make it?
I don't know. All I know is we've got to get that oil moved out of there.
Yes,
And
sir.
there's no chance of saving this building?
Never was. All we can do is keep it centered here.
And move those tank cars before they catch fire.
Hey, here she comes.
Yeah.
Now, if that engineer got his orders, he'll push right into that smoke and clear the track without even bothering to ask what we want out of the way.
Yeah. Well, he seems to have his doubts about something.
Can you understand his signals?
Something about a switch. I don't... Good grief, I know what he wants.
What now?
This track goes straight on through. Those 2 tank cars were on a siding. He's got to be switched.
You mean a different track from the one he's on?
Yeah, somebody's got to go into that smoke. Too darn close to that burning building to be comfortable.
And throw the switch that'll put him on the same track as the oil tanker. That it?
Yeah, that's it. And, brother, believe me, that's plenty.
Once again, the unexpected, and once again, the chief is faced with a dangerous situation that must be met immediately. But why does he avoid looking at his young friend, Tim Collins? Well, to see what happens now, don't miss your next exciting episode of the Firefighters. In a moment, Chief Cody will be back to tell you, boys and girls, how you can help the firefighters in your own town. But first, a message you'll want to hear. And now, here's Chief Bob Cody.
Hello, boys and girls. Thinking of those 2 tank cars so close to the burning building reminds me of the danger of putting anything too close to a hot object. If you want to know what I mean, go down into your cellar and take a look around. Are there any paints, turpentine, or painting materials stored away too close to your furnace? If so, I don't have to tell you to put them away somewhere else fast. Not only that, papers, rubbish, and litter anywhere in your cellar, up close to the furnace or not, makes for danger. A little clearing up right now may save a lot of grief later on. Don't forget that. Now, till next time, so long.
Fire Chief Cody and the young rookie fireman, Tim Collins, will be back on the same station the next time you hear...
That's it. Let's roll!
Let's go! Firefighters is a copyrighted feature of William F. Holland Productions.